real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with Joey Sampaga, the man with the plan. How's it going, Joey?
What's going on?
Podcasting. It's fun stuff. And we've got some great guests with us. We actually have Susan in the house. How's it going, Susan?
Hey, good to be here.
Security Title. And she's here to help us out today. This is going to be great. So our special guest today is, here we go, Lloyd Fox. How you doing, Lloyd?
Doing very well. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Glad that you're here. You're
Glad to be here.
Wisdom with us today.
Well, we'll see what I can dig up.
I'm sure you can. So
Right.
Let's first at least start by letting the listeners know how long you've been in the business, what broker are you with, what compelled you really to get into real estate?
Well, I'm with Long Realty, the Fox Group. I'm the designated broker and owner of the agency. I also work directly with buyers and sellers. Been in the business now since 2001. Have actually owned the office and been the broker of it since May of 2005, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
There, celebration.
555.
Wow. Actually, that's a good thing, right?
That's a perfect anniversary.
It's not a jackpot, but 555.
All right. And things have been going well.
Yes, very well. I mean, after the downturn, there was only one way to go.
Yeah. We've talked to some agents that, that have joined, that came into real estate after the collapse. And of course, so they have seen skyrocket, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you into the business originally? What did you...
A downsizing of one.
A downsizing
Yes,
of
I was
one.
a vice president of medical equipment sales for the United States with a company based out of the UK, and the CEO and I did not see eye to eye on some things, and he pulled rank.
Okay.
So I just chose to not allow that to ever happen to me again. I was not going to go back to corporate America. I was going to take things into my own hands. I knew I was good at sales. I always brought in the numbers. I had great retention rate as a trainer within the company. Made every goal they ever made for me in 7.5 years. And if it's a personality conflict, that can change your course at that point in time. I'd rather just put that in the eyes and the hands of the clients rather than somebody else.
Got it. So you mentioned training.
Yes.
And if I understand right, you do a lot of training.
Yeah,
at your
quite a
office
bit.
as well, right?
Almost every day. And it's me that personally delivers it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every day. So we have what I refer to as 30 core curriculum classes.
Okay.
Kind of to get people into the business, a lot of it. Everything from understanding agency to prospecting, multiple classes on prospecting, everything from prospecting directly to buyers, prospecting to sellers. And then we do what I also call Curriculum Plus, and we have a lot of different other programs outside of that 30 core courses that rotate.
Okay. So with training that much, what tips would you give agents today to grow their business in the current market that we find ourselves in?
I'd say number one, you got to have a business plan. All right.
Sure.
You have to have a business plan, but don't overplan. You got to get off your duff and do something. You have to be fearless, right? There's too many people in this business, too many agents that believe, oh, I'm so busy. Well, add up the amount of things that you're doing and kind of quantify where you're spending your time because you're so busy doing things that don't generate revenue. The last time I checked, it's a commission job.
Absolutely.
If you're not generating revenue, who cares what you're doing? You could have the best business plan. You could have the best listing presentation in the world. But if you never get a chance to deliver it, you might as well just stay home.
You're passionate about that. I
Oh,
can feel it.
absolutely. It drives me
And
crazy.
here's what I would say.
Get back to work, you slacker.
Absolutely.
No doubt. And it's the kind of work. It's not just work. Like I said, there are a lot of people out there that, oh, I'm so busy. Yeah, but what are you doing specifically?
Yeah. Are you hearing that a lot with agents out in the that they're
yeah.
just, I'm so busy.
All the time.
It's always work
Yeah.
avoidance.
Mhm.
They migrate to the path of least resistance and their computer doesn't resist them.
Mhm.
People can say no. Their computer won't say no, but I'm working in front of a keyboard. Great. So get out and do sales.
It's easy to go downhill.
This is true. It's very easy.
So you do this training for the agents in your office, and we heard kind of what you would do with this market. So what exactly? Give us a couple of things. If somebody came to you right now, what would you tell them to go do right now to get business today?
Today,
Yeah.
number one, schedule an open house.
Okay.
Get in front of people. You have to. There's only two things that work in my book. Okay, within what I refer to as active prospecting.
Okay.
It's either face-to-face or voice-to-voice. You've got to start either knocking on doors, making phone calls, or getting in front of people asking for business. There are 35,000 licensees that have MLS privileges in this valley right now. 35,000. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't want to be that guy, or I don't want to be that gal that does this, I don't want to be too salesy. Well, don't worry about it. You won't have to sell a damn thing because there's 35,000 other people, and I can guarantee you there's at least 1,000 out of that 35,000 that will get in front of that same person, and they will ask and they will receive. If you don't take a shot, you can't score. I don't care what the sport is. So if you're afraid of hearing no, if you're afraid of being told no over and over again, you're really going to have a hard time in this business.
Tough time. Well, so would you say that, what are the stats now? Like 85% of agents that start in the business leave?
I'd say it's probably more closer to 90% after 2
2
years.
years?
They're done. Yeah, and they're absolutely done.
So just not willing to do the work.
That's correct. They're not willing. It's not that they're not willing to work.
Okay.
It's that they're unwilling to do the things that make the difference and pay you.
Got it.
They're, like I said, they're working, but they're not getting anywhere. It's kind of like if you're in a boat and you've got oars, you can sit there and work up a tremendous sweat. You might want to put them in the water.
Yeah.
There's work,
good
and
analogy.
then there's that which moves the needle, moves the boat.
Absolutely.
And that's what it takes.
Good advice. Good advice. So besides the training, I know you said that you also work with buyers and sellers yourself.
That's correct.
Do you have a specific niche that you really work
I really
with or
don't,
target?
to be honest with you. I really don't. I work the full range. I mean, last year my full range was a condo, a little over $100,000 to the second largest home sale in Arizona history. That was $13.7 million. Wow. Last year, 25,000 square footer. Pretty nice. Sweet little place on 7 acres.
Cozy.
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm. So I work the full range. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm more motivated by the person that I'm working with.
Yeah.
I've worked with some people that are tremendous people in all the ranges, so I'm not really sitting there focusing on price so much.
I did notice that you do have luxury on the website.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say a good percentage, though, is...
Yeah,
That luxury
I would
market?
say it's very balanced as far as what we do. The interesting thing, though, is when agents go out there and they think about getting into a specific market, the public has to identify you with having the capability in that market. If you're not demonstrating your face, your name next to luxury real estate, why in the world does somebody else have to draw that conclusion when you can't draw it for them?
Okay.
And I've had a lot of agents that come to me and they'll be like, hey, I'd really like to break into this part of the business, but for whatever reason, they're just never asking me about it. Well, what are you doing in order to be associated with such a thing? Are you using the proper bait? Because if you're always sitting at $200,000 or $300,000 home open, how do you think you're going to get a luxury listing? So let's think about this for a second. If I want to go out there and do some fishing today, and I'd like to get tuna, right? Love tuna.
Yes.
Some nice sashimi.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to throw my line in the water out at Lake Pleasant. I'm going to be there a long time. In other words, you have to know where you're going to fish. You have to fish in the right waters, and you have to use the right bait. Otherwise, nobody's going to draw that for you if you can't do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I some of my classes, too, I teach about niche and really figuring out where you want to be. And that's a great analogy. I'll have to maybe use that sometime.
Please do.
Because I usually use the one of, like, let's say you're selling golf clubs, and you know that there's a golf group that goes to Blue 32, let's say, on Wednesday afternoons. Are you going to go there, or are you going to go to McDonald's? You're probably going to go to Blue 32 because that's where your client is.
Absolutely.
know
You
what I'm saying?
have to. If you haven't been in a luxury home in the last 6 months, what makes you think you're going to work with luxury clients?
That's true.
Good
You have
point.
to know the product. You have to associate with the people that move that product, or you have to find a way of getting in that stream. If you don't, you can't possibly do it.
No, that totally makes sense. Totally.
But what about the agent that says, well, if I put that niche in on a card or on the website, now other people would say, oh, well, not that that's, I mean, if you're doing luxury, but what about the $400,000 seller?
It's a great point. So I can relate to this on many different levels. So when I closed that one that I spoke of earlier, $13.7 million, I was scared to death. So the next day I'm in the classroom, I'm teaching, and the agents are like, what the heck are you doing here? Why are you not on a beach somewhere? And I said, actually, I'm extremely nervous. It was in the paper. It talks about 13.7 million. And what I have to do now with my own database, with the people that know me, I have to start pumping in a lot of sales that are in the wheelhouse, 200 to 800,000, and get that information out here, closing this one. I want to make sure that people understand that, oh, well, we didn't really want to call you because, our place isn't 13 million, it's 300,000. Again, it doesn't matter to me as what the price of it. It really doesn't matter to me. I think people overcomplicate it. And in reality, people are people, and I want to work with good people. So, but the point is you have to balance it out. You have to project exactly what you want to get. And sometimes if you project too high and you stick yourself in a niche, then you're going to have to make it there or fail there. That's right. Because you're not going to be able to get out of it.
Absolutely. So what percent of your business right now do you think would be on the buy side versus the list side?
I'm about 60% listing, 40% buyer. I'm one of those crazy suckers that still loves working with buyers. I'll drive them around. I'll have a good time. I feel like when you're working with a buyer, you get an opportunity to be able to create more of a relationship because you're spending an entire day with those people. It's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
You become a part of their family for that period of time. You do.
There you go. Fantastic. Great information. We are going to move into, are you ready for this?
I'm
ready
prepared.
to get in the ring with the
Fasten my
Maniacs?
seatbelt.
Here we go. So tell us, Lloyd, what's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
Best advice anybody's ever given me is just get out there and start working, to not overly prepare. Don't worry about how the flyer looks. Just get in the home and start moving it. Start talking real estate immediately. The more you put it off, the further out your first paycheck is, and then your chances for success are really diminished.
Great advice. Great advice. What would you say is your favorite mobile app? Personal or business?
Well, the one that I go to probably the most is Instagram. Okay. I really do.
Really?
Instagram is probably the first thing that I tap on most days. I'm an image-driven person. I've been into photography ever since I'm in seventh grade. First thing I ever bought was a camera, so Instagram is a lot of fun for me. It's also a great way to do a lot of networking with other real estate agents around the country. Right. So one of the powerful things about Instagram versus, say, Facebook is Instagram opens up a whole different world of people you don't know, which is nice. So you create a little bit of a referral base with other top agents around the country.
Great job, yeah. I know some agents that are building that base using Snapchat right now, but Instagram's awesome.
Very similar.
So share with the listeners a book recommendation.
Anything by John Maxwell. His leadership books, I think, are very straightforward. They can become a little bit repetitive, but the messaging, success is just really doing a few things and doing it right. And I think he hits the nail on the head, and I like his writing style. Yeah. So
one of the books I have of his is Today Matters. Okay. And I've got many of the pages have the book.
One of my favorites is actually called Failing Forward.
Okay.
Which is a fantastic book.
Good.
I'm reading the 21 Irrefutable Laws.
There's 21 laws of everything, according to Mr. Maxwell.
Absolutely. So name one productivity tool that you use on a regular basis.
My cell phone.
Cell phone?
Smartphone. All day, every day. Absolutely.
Are you Android or Apple?
I'm an Apple guy.
All right. Yeah. All right. Sorry, Joey.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They let me on the plane still with my Apple.
There you go. Oh, ouch. There we go.
Well, they let me on the phone with my 5, too. So
they call it a Galaxy, but you can't fly with it.
Yeah, there we go.
Ow.
Good one. Okay, so we're going to draw. We do one more final thing. That's drawing a question out of the mask. So I'm going to let you do that right now.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
All right.
You're going to make me put on my specs here, for goodness sakes. It's all age-related, I'm telling you right now. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? Great question. Just got back from one of my top choices. Went to Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand for 17 days. An amazing trip. So the next place that I really want to see is New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. I want to go out there someday.
That's number one on my list.
That's great.
I've had clients talk about it. Anybody that's gone there has said it is some of the most beautiful, untouched land you will see and the friendliest people. So just got back from a real estate conference and met 3 agents from New Zealand. outstanding people too.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And I wouldn't mind going to see a game with the All Blacks. A little bit of rugby would want to be. Yeah.
Rugby.
See some haka.
Get out there on the field.
Absolutely.
How about Joey? What do you think? Where would you go?
You know, my wife wants to see Tuscany, so probably that'll be number one for now.
Okay.
Under the
All right.
Tuscan sun.
Yeah, that's why she wants to go.
Of course. Yeah, we all saw that.
There you go. Yeah. Susan, what about yourself?
You know, I think Australia. And that's going to be our next big trip. Big,
All
big
right.
trip.
The Down Under.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
See if I can find Olivia Newton-John.
There. Okay. I would have to say for myself, probably Bora Bora, because that's probably what my wife
Oh,
would
that's
want me to
fabulous.
say.
Yes.
And since we have a anniversary coming up, so yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's been great to have you here. If an agent is listening to this right now or have seen us on the video and they want to reach out to you directly, how would someone get in contact?
Easiest way is my cell phone, 602-418-1153. Text or call.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Lloyd.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
It's
And
been a
Susan?
pleasure.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the opportunity. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, from the Security Title Studios in the heart of the Biltmore, this is Jeff Underwood, Joey Sampaga, the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs, signing off. Have a great day.
How fun.
That is fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.